All right, let's just jump right in. Stop talking. I know it sounds a little harsh, doesn't it? But what if I told you the real key to getting an edge in almost any situation isn't about saying the perfect thing, but about what you don't say? That's what we're going to unpack today. The incredible power of becoming unpredictable. So let me start with a pretty direct question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself here. Think about it. In a negotiation, a debate, even just a casual conversation, do you tend to fill the silence? Do you over-explain yourself? Most of us do. It's totally natural. But as we're about to find out, that little instinct might be costing you way more than you think. And that brings us to our first big idea, what I call the predictability trap. This is one of those things that works against us in the background. We fall into it all the time without even realizing what's happening. I mean, it's just human nature, right? Silence can feel, well, awkward. So what do? We rush to fill it. We talk, we explain, we justify. But here's the problem. When you're constantly broadcasting your every thought, you basically become an open book. People start to see your patterns, they know what you're going to do next, and that element of surprise, poof, it's gone. You're predictable. Just look at this contrast right here. On one side, you have our default setting, impulsive speaking. We just jump in, we reveal what we want too early, we might accidentally show a weakness, and just like that, we've handed over control of the entire conversation. But on the other side, you've got strategic silence. This is where you consciously hold back, you hide your cards, you build pressure, and you create this little void that forces the other person to show their hand first. It's a total flip of the power dynamic. So let's really dig into what makes silence so powerful, because we're not talking about just zoning out or not paying attention. Oh no, this is an active and incredibly potent strategic tool. See, it's a conscious act. You are doing this on purpose. You're creating this psychological space. And it's in that space, that little pause, where all the magic happens. The other person starts to feel uncomfortable, and guess what they do? They start talking, they start giving you information you never would have gotten otherwise, all because they're trying to fill the void that you created. And think about the effects this has. When you're the one who is comfortable with silence, you project this incredible confidence. You look like you're in total control. You create that information vacuum we just talked about, and you completely disrupt the normal back and forth rhythm of a conversation, which can really throw people off their game. The best part? When you finally do decide to speak, your words have like 10 times the impact because everyone has been hanging on, waiting to hear what you'll say. Here is the perfect way to think about this. A normal conversation is like a game of ping pong. We're just hitting ideas back and forth. But this is a chess match. In chess, every single move is deliberate. You don't shout out your strategy to your opponent, right? No, you watch them, you let them make a move, and you use that information to plan your own. That's what saying less does. It lets you play a masterful game. Okay, so now let's connect the dots. We've got the silence, we've got the control. What does it all lead to? What's the ultimate prize? It's one thing: becoming strategically unpredictable. And this is really the bottom line, isn't it? When no one can figure out what you're going to do next, they can't plan against you, they can't counter you. Suddenly, you're not just a player in the game anymore. You're the one controlling the whole board. And all because you're a bit of a mystery. So how do we actually do this? First, you have to flip a switch in your brain. You have to go from being a broadcaster to being a receiver. Your main goal is to collect information, not give it away. Step 2, you have to master the pause. Before you answer anything, just take a beat. A 2-second pause can literally change everything. Third, you have to fight that gut instinct to be the one to break an awkward silence. Let them do it. And finally, number 4 ties it all together. Act with intention. Don't just react. Make every single word a deliberate choice. Okay, so that's all the theory. But how do we get this into our bones? How do we make it second nature? Well, it really comes down to one simple core idea. Think about that. Every single time you open your mouth to state an opinion or a fact, you are making a commitment. You're putting a stake in the ground. You're locking yourself into a position. And this is exactly why saying less is so incredibly powerful. The fewer of those verbal commitments you make, the more options you keep open for yourself. You have total flexibility. You can adopt, you can pivot, you can change your entire strategy on the fly because you haven't boxed yourself in with your own words. Now let's be crystal clear about something. This is not about being silent all the time. The goal is not to become a mute. The goal is about economy, It's about impact. It's about being so intentional that when you do speak, your words are precise, they're powerful, and they do exactly what you want them to do. Every single word has a purpose. So we've walked through this whole idea, the trap of being predictable, the immense power of strategic silence, and how it all leads to the ultimate advantage, being unpredictable. So really, there's only one question left. What's your next move going to be? So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. In your next important meeting, your next negotiation, maybe even just a conversation tonight, what would happen if you just decided to listen a little more, to pause, to let someone else rush to fill the silence? What could you learn? And what new advantage might you discover simply by saying a little less? Think about it.